She stood tall in her beige suit, hands steady as she slid the papers across the table. "Your Honor," she said, voice dripping with false virtue. "I raised him, fed him, clothed her, sheltered her after his mother died. I itemized everything. $50,000. The judge took the stapled pages, adjusted his glasses, and began to read. The courtroom stilled. Every cough, every shuffle, every flicker of breath muted. My aunt's lips curved into a modest smile, the performance of amateur. I watched her, calm, silent, because this was the moment I had prepared for. The judge flipped to the last page, his brow furrowed, his lips pressed together. Then his voice cut through the silence. "Where?" he asked slowly. "Is the $190,000 in Social Security survivors' benefits you collected on his behalf?" The room exploded. Murmurs, gasps, a laugh somewhere in the back. My aunt's face drained of color. She opened her mouth, but no sound came. That was when I leaned forward, ready to speak, ready to finish what I had started. When my mother died, I was 9. I remember the hospital's white walls, the beeping monitors, her hand slipping out of mine. My aunt swooped in within days, papers ready, guardianship filed. She told me she'd take care of me. "Family takes care of family," she whispered. I believed her. I had to. She gave me a room, meals, rules. I went to school, town neighbors. It looked fine, but I learned quickly what it cost to survive under her roof. Gratitude was demanded, note earned. Every meal carried weight. Every pair of shoes came with a reminder. You-y me. I didn't know then what she was really collecting in my name. The first clue came at 16. I needed a birth certificate for a summer job. She stalled, told me she misplaced it. Weeks later, I found it in her desk along with unopened letters from Social Security. Thick envelopes, government seals. I didn't understand the numbers at first, but as I grew older, I pieced it together. Survivor benefits, checks meant for me, money that never touched my hands. She spent them quietly. Mortgage payments, vacations, new appliances, and all the while she told me I was a burden. The betrayal wasn't just financial. It was calculated theft wrapped in the mask of guardianship. She hadn't raised me out of love. She raised me for profit. I didn't confront her, smiled. I obeyed. I pretended I believed her lies. But I started keeping records, every letter I found, every slip she made. Quietly, I built a file. When I turned 18, I requested my full benefits history from the Social Security office. $190,000 paid out in my name. Gone. I felt therage boil, but I smothered it. Rage wouldn't save me. Strategy would. I studied her habits, her vanity, the way she sought approval in public, praised herself as my savior. People believed her, teachers, neighbors, even my friends. So, I let her keep the stage, let her believe I was helpless. But I hired a lawyer. I gave him the file, their seats, the benefits report. We built the case brick by brick, slow and silent. We didn't move until the foundation was unshakable. And now we were here in court. Her invoice neatly itemized. Food, $15,000. Clothes, $10,000. Shelter, $25,000. Her audacity was breathtaking. The judge looked at her, then back at me. "Would you like to respond?" I stood, my legs steady, my voice clear. "Yes, Your Honor. I told the truth, stripped bare. How my mother's death left me in her care. How every kindness was followed by an accusation. How gratitude became a prison. Then I laid out the documents, the letters, the Social Security records, the total sum she had stolen while calling herself my protector. She didn't raise me, I said, voice low but cutting. She raised her bank account, and when the money dried up, she came for more. My words echoed in the silence that followed. I turned to her. Her hands trembled. Her mouth twitched, searching for excuses, but there was nothing left to say. For the first time in my life, she couldn't twist the truth. The judge ruled in my favor. She owed restitution, legal penalties. Her reputation shattered in a single afternoon. But the real victory wasn't the money. It was the look in her eyes as the gavel came down. The realization that the boy she thought she owned had become the man who ended her game. I walked out of that courtroom lighter than I'd ever felt. Not because I was free of her debt, but because I had turned it back on her. She once said I owed her everything. Now she owed me, and the world finally knew the truth. I didn't just survive her, I outlived Hurley's.